So let's go through more about what we should be eating as the regular way we eat. Do I have takeaways? Occasionally. I'm not anti it, but I don't have it as a regular form of my food. Do I eat bread regularly? No. Do I have bread sometimes? Yeah, sometimes. But it's not a regular way of eating. This is how we should eat regularly, and then things become in moderation. A tidbit, one of my friends who's a retired GP, he said when you were diagnosed with diabetes, they would say to you, you can have an apple once a month for a treat. That's what they would say. Actually, it was a good bit of advice. So the ideas of moderation has changed. My dad would say he'd get a satsuma at Christmas time and so on. So moderation has gone out the window. So where people go, I don't have things very much, I have it in moderation, be aware of that. This is what we should be regularly consuming, and this should be something we have occasionally if we choose to, So high quality food, I'm going to talk quite a lot about that, but we cannot be healthier than the food we ate. We cannot eat food which is sprayed in some carcinogenic pesticide, we cannot eat poor quality meats, we cannot eat food mass produced in cheap ways in a factory. So we do have to look for quality, okay? We want to get whole foods, which basically means it's minimally processed, it's the closest it can appear in its natural form. I believe we need a source of animal protein at every meal, we need healthy fats, lots of organic vegetables, which is the fibre carbs, some fruit in your diet, but not too much. And we want as little as this as possible. Now, refined sugars, additives, preservatives, all this synthetic and all that is super easy to avoid if you buy stuff fresh. If you buy your food from that aisle, you will not be able to get away from that. Okay, when people say, read your food labels, I say, do you need to? Do you need to go and do a 3-4 year biochemistry degree just to go and buy your food? Just buy food which doesn't need you to read the labels. If you buy chicken, it should have on the label chicken. It shouldn't have anything else. Okay? If you buy a carrot, you should pick it up and it shouldn't have something saying anything other than carrots. If you buy food where you know where it comes from, you've grown it in your own allotment, or it's somewhere where it's not pre-packaged and it's not been cut up and made for you, you literally eliminate all of that straight away. If you're going to buy anything pre-made, like say in a jar, in a packet, any sort of ready meal, you've then got to be a food expert, and it's very, very hard. So, poisoning the food chain, that just takes it one step further. I mean, it really is just absolutely absurd to me and absolutely crazy that you can spray anything on your food which is harmful to human health. It's crazy. Look at how pesticides work. Okay, so pesticides generally work by either making insects infertile. Do we have an infertility problem? Yes, there's a big infertility problem because we're having all the stuff which makes things infertile, which is crazy. We have things which destroy the immune system and the nervous system of animals, of insects. And this is what we're consuming. People in this country, if they're spraying pesticides, we don't generally have the big farms like they have in the US where they fly over a plane, but they have breathing apparatus so they don't get cancer. We cannot consume those foods. It is absolutely absurd. And it's a very sad state of affair, but we need to worry about that. Our grandparents didn't. They went to the local farm or the greengrocer and he got it from farmer Larry or whatever up the road. We have to look at this stuff. So that's why I'm very pro buying fresh, seasonal, chemical-free, and look for things like organic. The Soil Association is a real organic certification. It's not a junk, phony one like there are in different countries where you just pay a membership. But the Soil Association is real organic. You want things like free range, which basically means you get chicken and eggs from that type versus that type. It means they're eating grass, and when the cow's on the field, in any field there'll be more than one type of grass, and it knows what it should eat. It knows, depending on what, if it's pregnant, and it knows all that stuff. Chickens are actually highly carnivorous. They'll eat little worms and insects and stuff. That's where our food comes from. So we need to look for free range. Fish, we need wild caught. Wild caught and free range are protected. When they don't say that, they're deliberately trying to trick you, because otherwise they would have that all over it. So people will say, have your oily fish. Great source of fats. And it is, it's a high-end source of omega-3s. Omega-3s is good for reducing inflammation, good for brain health, joint health, nervous system health, etc. Very good for us. And most people need more of it. So they say, have all your oily fish like salmon. Say, if it's farm salmon, there's none. We don't get our omega-3s unless we eat it. So does many of the animals we eat. They must eat it. So a farm salmon has no omega-3s. You're not getting it. They'll have omega-6s, which create inflammation, and get fed things like grains and stuff. But wild caught will, because they eat bits of algae and other little things in the sea and so on. So we need to get wild caught fish. Okay? Organics, fats and oils. So when people say olive oil, is olive oil good? Yeah, it's great. You can easily get organic, cold pressed, extra virgin olive oil. Very easily. You know, organic coconut oil, organic butter. It's very easy to get. So that's what we need to look for, is that. So what I say to people, the first change of anything in the diet is improving the quality. And I've never had someone who said, no, do you know what? It's good what I get, but I probably could get it a bit better. And if that's the only thing you took away from this, that would be very, very good information. And this is what we want to avoid. Sadly, that's where most people's dinners and lunches come from. It's not healthy. You know, all of that is just processed junk. Breathing apparatus should not be in place. Animals, and this isn't the worst photo, it's just one of the best photos I could find. You know, animals shouldn't be raised in that way. This is unhealthy food. It's chemically produced, and this is a new way of producing food. You know, prior to World War II, pretty much everything was organic. So all the disused weapons factories, they converted to chemical fertilizers. Yeah, that's where it comes from. So quality food first, guys.